Good evening. Ah, Pauline. Bonsoir. All right. Well, here we go. More people coming in. All right. Same as last time. We're going to start off with just some general movement, get our bodies strong and mobile, and then we'll get into the continuing of the small sensor. Whoa. Oh, what are you? There we go. Okay. Sorry, I was having some problems with my screens there. It's getting too many people on the screen. Okay. Let's get into it. All right, let's get our legs moving. Shoulder width, parallel beating. Slide your body down with your back straight. Legs staying a little bit straighter. So you're stretching through your hamstrings, opening them up. Try and get down to the point where you can put your hands on the ground without rounding your back. Keep your back nice and straight. Bend your knees rather than your spine. Okay? And then just stretch into one leg and then the other. So I'm straightening one leg, bending the other, flipping it over, straightening one leg, bending the other. Hello, Clara. You're going to join me today, are you? Okay, from that position again, let's stand up, engaging your glutes, your lower back. Take it down again. Drop your bum into a squat. Okay, like so. Can you go on that side of me, Clara? Yep. So remember, with your squat, you need something heavy. If you're falling backwards, hold your, no, you can't come in on your skates, Gabby. And then push your bum up. Get that little stretch in your hamstrings again by downwardly tilting your pelvis, and then engage your glutes and stand back up. Same again. Take it down. Drop the bum. Lift it up. Stand it up. Down. Stretch the hamstrings. Drop the bum. Lift the bum. Stretch the hamstrings. Stand up. Into our lunge. Stretching through the rear hip flexor. Through here. Open it up. In breath, heel on the ground at the back, pushing into this hip. Pelvis tucked under, hips pushed forward. Push the palms down. Remember our last lessons. Hands on the knee if you need support. Hands on the floor if you need support. Drop the knee onto the floor. And then sit back onto that rear foot. Only sit back as far as what's comfortable. If you can get all the way back, then great. Coming forward, the same thing. Use the floor to push yourself up. Use your knee to push yourself up. And then do it again. If you're able to, do the whole thing without touching anything with your hands. So you're just relying upon the structure in your legs to maintain your stability. Switch sides, exactly the same thing. Start off just centering in, stretching into that opposite hip flexor now. Open it up. Take it down, touch the knee if you need to, touch the floor if you need to. If not, don't touch anything. One more time. You'll get cold again. No, I've got a jumper on. I'm moving more than you, so it'll be cold. All right, let's get our shoulders strong. Shoulders and core, very important for your small sensor, making sure everything's working up through here. So we're going to slide down again. Put your hands on the floor and just walk forward. Place your knees on the floor if you need to, or if you're able to, stretch out into a full plank. At any time during these exercises, you can drop your knees to the floor to help stabilize. Quiet, Gabby. Okay, you can follow along, but no noises, okay? Just holding that plank. Notice I'm not holding it in a completely still position. I'm wriggling around a little bit so that all the muscles in my shoulders are learning how to move and stabilize under movement rather than just one static position. So I'm just kind of, like I'm jogging on the spot sort of thing, just moving around. Let's try opening it up to the side. Again, you can put one knee on the ground if you're unable to hold a side plank. Getting your core engaged. Take it back to the other side. Gabby. More away from the desk, please. Thank you. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Take it back again. Again, just holding it like so. Put your knee down if you need to. And then drop your hip. Gabby, out of the way, please. Drop your hip down, stretching through your ribs and your hip, lifting it back up. Take it to the other side. Holding it. Dropping the hip. Through. And lifting it back up again. Let's try taking it to the other side. Drop the hip. Lift the hip. And then take this hand over to the back into a reverse plank. Feel free to drop your bum on the ground whilst you do that. And even in this position, you might not be able to get right up into a full reverse plank. So just sitting here like this is okay. At least you're getting some pressure on your shoulders and you're lifting to some degree. So all we can ever hope for is pushing yourself as much as you can manage for your current state. Pull your knees in, or your feet in rather, and push your hips up a little bit further if you're able to. And then straighten them back out again. Again, hips high, take it across into that side plank again. Drop the hip, stretchy stretch, lift it back up, and drop it back down, stretchy stretch, and lift it back up. Back into the front plank. Holding that position. Bring one foot forward. Sink down into that front leg. Just get yourself as low as what you can manage. Point the rear toe. And lengthen through that back leg whilst sinking through the front leg. And again, see how I'm just wriggling. There's no specific thing to do here. Just wriggle your body around in this position and feel out any bits which for you personally are a little tighter. If you find a tight spot, sink into it a little more. It's all about motion rather than static holds with these kind of things. For certain things, static holds are great. For other things, motion is better. Okay, switch your feet. Exactly the same thing on the reverse side. Point that toe, lengthening through the back leg, sinking down through the front leg. Again, wriggling around. Okay, come back into a plank position. One more before we finish. Okay, from here, you're going to do the same thing we just did, opening to the side. But this time I want you to bring it back down and put your palm underneath your elbow, like so. Okay? Then open it back up. If you found that relatively easy, then try to put your elbow underneath your elbow. So just go as far under, like so, as what you can manage. So it might just be a matter of going from here back to the plank, okay? Or from here, hand under the elbow. Or from here, right the way through. Okay, so your arms are completely crossed over. Okay, so that's the full shebang. Switch sides. So again, do it to whatever level you're able to, just back to here, or all the way under. Keeping your core engaged at all times and keeping your shoulder engaged. Like you're pushing your spine away from the ground. Don't let your body sag into your shoulder. One more. And back to center. Put your feet in. Again, back into a squat, holding your weight if you're falling backwards, or just putting your hands behind you to stop you from falling backwards. Stand up onto the balls of your feet from this position. Okay, so just lift up. Can't really see it, it's a bit dark down there, but I'll turn sideways. No, it's still dark down there. Just standing up onto the toes, sitting back, rolling forward, and sitting forward. Just a bit of agility, and then stand up, drop your heels. All right, let's get into small Sansao. Then do small Sansao and a bit of bag work today. Oh, look at this. Lots more people here now. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Australia. We've got Britain, we've got Australia, we've got Austria, France, some more France, Sweden, Spain, Germany. Wow, cool. America. Everyone's here tonight. Okay. So let's have a run through small Sansao where we're up to. So we got the 1, 2, 3 block back fist. that was where we got up to last week. We'll have a quick warm through of that, and then I'm going to show you that last application that we did. I'll get Fran in to demonstrate that application for you. Hey, Clara, could you tell Mummy that I'll need her in just a few minutes? Thank you. Okay, so let's try it out, shall we? Nice and easy. Mirror me. Okay, so we're all going to start that way. 1, swivel on the heels. 2, 3, take it down, take the block. Grab, step forward, back fist. Reset, take it the other side. 1, 2, 3. Take the block, take the wrist, step, back fist. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3. That's right, we were going to do that twice, weren't we? So let's do it like that. So again, 1, 2, 3. Reset. See the looseness of the body. This is probably one of the most important things to get this grounded, like a big gorilla kind of feel throughout the form, okay? So when we go here, you feel like your arms, nice heavy weight coming down. And then take that same weight that we feel when we drop the hands and apply that into just the one arm. You see? Obviously, it's not straight down now. It's got a little bit of direction to it, and the fact that we're taking it across the body, but it's still got that weighted heaviness. When you hit in any direction, you can still apply that heaviness into the strike, that looseness, rather than creating some kind of tension there. Like so. Okay. Okay. Remember, the hand goes out, whack, flicks over. See how it's yin to relaxed, and then it's going to go one. See that? The wrist moves like this. So it comes up yin and then sort of cracks into position like that. And then of course it just coils back again. So we get from here, what? See how it's coming out relaxed, and then there it sort of snaps into position to get its target point. And then just settles back into this type of position, which is more akin to what it looks like in the slow form. While we're here, I'll just show you the application, because I've only shown you the application of that first movement so far. So now that I've got Fran here. Right, so we've taken in the form, it's from there like that. She throws a punch down here, right? That's the block, right? Like that. That's like so. So the basic application is just take the block, take the wrist, and bang, back fist to the back of the neck, side of the neck. Depending on the angle of which she's standing will depend on what you will hit. When you're practicing the partner applications, then we go into a bit more detail about these kind of things. But there's no one set point strike for each combination. Some, like the opening one, there's not really any other situation where her head's going to be in any other shape. So it's generally going to be a stomach 9 shot. Whereas for this one here, it could be a stomach 10. It could even be a little bit further around the back, around the bladder channel down here. If she was a bit more on the front, it could be around the stomach 9 area, carotid artery, or it could be back of the jaw in here, triple heater 17, could be side of the jaw, the mind point, stomach 5. There's lots of different points in there that will work really, really well. But when you're getting into your dim mak training, your point striking training, it's all about figuring out what will fit in the moment. You don't want to set your mind on one specific point, because let's say, for example, I tell you, you have to hit the mind point. Okay, so that's just here, right? Just in the front of that big muscle, your big chewing muscle there, just where your teeth are, and there's a little indentation in there. I say, yeah, that's the point, that's the point. But then your partner throws the punch at you. She turns her head a bit more. For whatever reason, she turns her head more. Doesn't matter what the reason is. And now I'm trying to adjust, but I've got to still hit that point. Doesn't work. If she's in that angle, it doesn't work to hit that point because her head's turned more. So now I have to hit something else, maybe triple heater 17, or maybe gallbladder 20 or bladder 10. So it depends on the angle. See, that there's a lot of detail to go into there. But for this class, we're focusing on body mechanics, learning how to hit, learning structural principles. I'm not going into too much detail as far as the points are concerned. Okay, now you'll notice that from this position, I'm really too close to her to do a back fist. Okay, you could do it. I'm not saying you couldn't. You could get some power and do some damage there. But if someone's that close to you, you'd be much better off hitting them with this hand. This would be the better strike to do in this case. So we're assuming in this form, hence the fact that we step forward and we're striking way over here, aren't we? Well, that's a very different shape to what I just did there. You see, bang, that's a very close range thing. Back fists don't work that well over close range. So what we've got to assume here is she stepped in with her right leg. She's thrown that punch where they're like, there's my block, right? So from a martial perspective now, there's my block. Notice the body positioning. You see, I'm not like this, saying, please hit me with your other hand in the jaw. I'm like this, you see. I'm a little bit curved over. I'll show you how that looks in the form in a moment. That's why there's a little bit more weight in the front leg compared to the other one, because if I put my weight fully back, I'm straight in the line of fire of this other hand. Just being a little bit forward, like 20%. I'm still back weighted, but there's about 20% of my weight in my front leg. It means I'm much more protected from that hand. I can move quickly. I can bring this shoulder up if I need to. I can get out of the way of that second hand. Anytime you do a double-handed block, you are at risk. It's advisable never to do double-handed blocks unless you have to. So I would never use a double-handed block against Fran, for example, because I'm bigger than she is. Whereas if I threw my hardest punch at her, maybe one arm, and I'm not even a very big guy, right? But if you had a big, heavyweight style guy throw a punch at Fran, two hands, she can stop it. One hand, not so much. So this is where two-handed blocks come into handy. Better to use two hands than to use one and have it collapse on you. Therefore, one hand is now the riskier technique. Two hands, yes, you are open, but at least you don't get punched by the first strike. I know what you're all saying. Why don't you just get out of the way instead of blocking? Why don't you just evade? She throws that punch. I'm a smaller person. Why don't I just get out of the way? Okay, she throws that punch. I'm a smaller person. Do it again. Why don't I just get out of the way? Oh, shit, there's a wall behind me now. Okay, yeah, I could step to the side, but what if I couldn't step to the side? What if there was something there? What if I was in a corner? What if I had my back up against a wall and my wife and my kid on the other side and I've got to block? It's self-defense. It's not boxing. Okay, so you don't always have a ring to run around. You can't always evade. This is why we need double-handed blocks in self-defense based martial arts, because you will come up against, more often than not, a bigger attacker. Okay, so we're assuming we've taken that block. Now what she does, as soon as she sees my left hand here, you see, bang, she sees this danger. Whoa, fingers are coming straight for her eyes. Not that we do that in the small sensor. We're not actually doing the strike. We're simply doing this concept of, if you do the lower block for me, I'll take that one. So if I throw that punch, right, and I dig in, boom, I can see that straight out of the corner of my eye. I'm in danger. Sure, I could hit her here, but she could hit me there. Bang, and then we both get hit, right? So I throw that first punch, I go, boom, oh, gee, yeah, I'm a bit wary of that. It's a very common thing people will do. They'll come in heavy, but then, whoops, and then they pop back again. Very typical boxing action, okay? So we've thrown that punch, boom, realized we're in danger, thrown our head back, maybe tried to catch this Han in some way to stop her. Now we're at a distance, you see. That's why she's grabbed that hand to take control of me and whacked me in the back of the jaw, back of the neck, something like that with that back fist. Now we're at a distance, which makes the block, the strike work. As I say, if she stayed there, bang, I'd hit her with that hand, you see. But as soon as she pulls away from me, oh, you see, now that's a bit too far to reach with that hand. This hand, well, I'm already on that side. It's a much easier strike, much more natural to do that particular strike. Plus, she's got this hand here. Look, if I attack with this hand, look what she can do. Just parry it. Just parries it across, you see. Very easy block for her. Whereas if I control this, she's not expecting this hand coming through here. Sure, she might have that hand there as well. You can always block something, but the fact that it's coming around from the side is less likely that people will see it because most people don't throw back fists. And that's the advantage of a back fist. It's less powerful, but people don't see it because people are used to these kinds of punches. People are not used to a punch coming in from the side in a back fist type action. So that's what's happening there. Taking that block there, taking the wrist, she tries to get away. I take the wrist, boom, and take that back fist across the back of her neck, back of the jaw, back of the ear, back of the head, eye socket. As I say, lots of different target points there. Just controlling this wrist from there, like so. Thank you, darling. Okay, so you've got to visualize that. Okay, as we're doing that technique, you take that low block. As I said, remember, this is big. It's elongated. It's exaggerated in the form. Okay, in reality, it would just be from somewhere like here. Say, bang, whack. You wouldn't be doing it so swingy and large. We're doing this to create power from the center, learn how to move our centers, learn how to connect. Okay, so that's the positioning. See the body structure compared to this. See, I'm back weighted about 90% now, and my spine is totally vertical. When I stand like this, I feel like I'm going to get whacked. I'm totally exposed on this side. Just change it to 20% rather than 10% in that front leg and slightly curve your body. It's like as if, you know, you're sort of hiding behind this shield. You see, like this. Obviously not, don't put your head down there like that. But from that position, rather than having this totally dropped and relaxed, see? That's where we want to be. Like that. So you kind of already, see, if I'm right down here, big movement is needed to create protection. But if I'm already kind of halfway tucked, oh yeah, okay, where can I go from there? I'm in a much safer place. Might not seem like much if you don't, if you've never done martial arts before, if you've never done sparring before, but the difference between literally that and that means I feel protected. And same from the other guy. If I'm standing there about to punch someone and I see him like that, I'm like, ha ha, splat. If I see him like that, I'm like, oh, hang on, he's ready for that. I don't think I want to throw that punch. So you telegraph to the other person, they're in danger, be careful, get away from me, kind of thing. Whereas, as I say, here, he's likely to throw that second punch. If I'm here, maybe he does back off, as I just showed you in that application. But then as he backs off, you take control of that wrist and then smack that back fist through to the other side. So, take the block. Take the wrist. And he's running away, You stop him running too far away by grabbing his wrist and smack into the side of his neck. Take the other side, there like so. See, it's a little bit forwardly tilted, a little forward compression in the body, bit of weight in the front leg. Take the wrist and wah! There's the back fist. Okay, I'm bringing my weight to about 60% forward, like I told you last time. Try again. The faster and more explosive you get it, the quicker this hand's going to come back. Don't necessarily try to do it as fast as I'm doing it. Do it as fast as you can while still feeling heavy and loose. is the goal. Heavy and loose, correct structure, correct technique is far more important than the speed, velocity, explosiveness, power, any of that kind of stuff. So just keep it. Oh, that's nice, you see? Just. Oh. That's a good pace. Keeps me feeling loose, keeps me feeling agile. If I go, see, you see that? I tried to go too fast. I was pretending I was a beginner there. Pretending going too fast for my ability, and it'll stiffen you up, you see? So sure, you can go fast, but you see, my body's staying loose. But that's only after many, many hours of practice. Remember when we take that block? I mentioned that in the first time, last week when we did it. Remember? It goes through. It doesn't stop there. It travels from the point of contact. It just goes, just a little more, a couple of inches at least. Remember, very, very important lesson. We talked about this last week as well. From here, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, release it. Okay? Be really careful you don't release it as you step and then have to reload to then do the back fist. Or worse yet, release it and then do a back fist like that with just arm power. That's not going to give you any decent strike. You may as well not do that strike. So hold your center over to the side, keep it over to the side. See, I'm charging it up, holding that wrist, and then release. Everything out all together. Hold it, hold it, hold it. There comes the back fist. Okay. I'm going to give you a little introduction tonight about the next back fist. And then we're going to chuck the bag up and do a little bit of the back fist strike on the bag, that first back fist, to get the feel of that, as well as our first combination of strikes, our combo 1 from our grading syllabus, which is just that one we did on the first week. Bang, bang. Okay, so in the form, 1, 2, 3, lock, back fist. That's where we're up to. When we do the next back fist, so when we slide it back, remembering your footwork, together, don't forget about that, together with the feet. Okay. From the second side, we don't do the same back fist again. We do a different back fist and a different controlling action with the other hand. So instead of controlling down into the wrist and back fisting horizontally across the body like so, we're going to control here. You see, hand comes straight forward. You're actually controlling into the bicep elbow kind of region here. So the hand stays up high. It's a forward action, you see, like that. Kind of, there's a little bit of down on there, but it's dominantly a forward action. It's not down here to the wrist. Whilst the other hand comes up the center and hits there. Okay. There's the back fist, like so. So it's classed as a vertical back fist. It's not actually vertical completely like that. There is still a slight angle to it, but comparatively to this one, it's moving on this plane, right? So we call it a vertical back fist. So we control, right? So we step, control as the hand is coming up, you see? Look. See that? The target is here. It's not right here on the center. In the same way that we said the target here was not somewhere here, but out here, kind of more in line with your leg. So it's the same sort of thing here. Think about the target, like his head, neck area is kind of more in line with your rear leg, somewhere around that region. Obviously, as I say, in a fight situation, his head could be anywhere. You adjust wherever he is. But as the form is done, you're given the angle which is the easiest to learn the technique. Once you understand the technique, you can try to apply it to different angles. But we always use the simplest angle to learn the fundamental of it. Then you can branch out. Okay, so from here, step, just like we did before. Now, one turn of the center, one shift of the weight, so the body still just goes clunk into the front leg, just like we did before. Shift the weight and turn the center, bang. But this time we're going to go, wah. See? So the both hand, see the turn of the center gives me that little control with the left hand, but it also gives me this strike here. If it were to continue, it would, you see? That's what I mean about it being vertical, as opposed to this way. So the hand's got to come, technically speaking, there is a slight preparation on this one. With the first one from here, the hand goes whack, like from where it is, bang, to its target. Whereas with this one, it's a downward strike, right? Well, it's kind of like that. So it's forward and down. It's not straight down. You see there? See the natural extension of the elbow. Look what happens to the arm. Makes a downward movement, doesn't it? Doesn't make a forward movement unless I lift the elbow, like a jabbing action, like that. But I keep the elbow where it is, extend the elbow, which creates naturally a slight downward angle. More on that later with regard to how the body creates the power for that, but just getting the basics right now. So, see, the hand actually has to lift up like you're back fisting yourself up the chin. So then the strike, boom. See, there's the strike. So that's what I meant before, is the preparation. It's lifting up and there's a down on the end of the move. But don't go so far down that you lose it, okay? You want to go, wah. See how it circles back through? We don't want to go like this. That's going to create tension. In and out. You want to circle it. Now that was grossly exaggerated circle. Look. That's too much exaggerated. So we've talked about exaggerating things with this form, and the whole form is a little exaggerated, but it's not exaggerated to the point where it will teach you a bad habit, okay? So, doing this a little bit larger, instead of something a bit more like that, just a slightly bigger movement. And there are specific technique applications, situations where the larger one would actually be advantageous. But in terms of this technique, if you went, if we assume maybe you might have missed your target, then your hands are both down here, you see. Oh, a nice big circle. But in that moment, if he counted that, bang, you're completely open, you see. So you've got to make sure you've got this, see that? There's this circle, but if we call the neck, like your own neck height there as your contact point, it's only got to just there, like it stays around that upper chest height. So there is a drop, there is a slight movement there, but it coils back in. The whole body does it, you see. See? My dad used to say it's kind of like throwing a fishing line, like, and it comes back in. Never really got that myself because I never went fishing because I was always vegan, but a lot of people fish, so it might help. What else? What's a vegan version of that? Okay, we need to do some brainstorming. Already figured out the vegan version of spit roasting. That's called corn cobbing, but that's for another conversation. Okay. See that? The fist does the same thing like before. See, it comes up loose, relaxed, and then flips over. Boom. See? Just as the hand closes into position. There's the strike. Loose, bah, there. Then it and sort of just relaxes off at the end of the move. But there's the attack, see? Let it follow through. Okay, that follow through will become, or rather the circle of the follow through will become smaller and smaller and smaller until it starts becoming an explosive circle. But in the beginning, it can be larger, but only about that, you see? So nothing more than, just below your pectorals or something, that kind of region-ish, something like that. Okay, so you've taken that block, take your step forward, trap his arm. It's more of a go out and get him this time. The other one is like, hey, stay here. I'm holding on to him before hitting him. This one is more like, go in and get him, right? You're assuming he's staying close with this technique. So we're tromping down on him, tromping. There's a new word I just invented. Okay, so we're there and there's the cramp, oh, my English is so bad. Bang. And then just relax it back. So there's your kind of finished position, just relaxed. Okay, center's a little bit open, like that. I'm not dead square to the front like that. I'm just a little bit open, still front weighted about 60%, and relax there. Make sure that hand comes back up. Okay, both your hands have got to come back up. Don't leave your hands at any point down here. Okay, it's not a good position to have your hands in for starters, but also it's going to ruin your next move next week when we do the next part, or whenever we do the next part. You're not going to get that particular movement happening from there. So you've got to allow your hands to circle back up. See, bring them back to here. So I'm still in that slightly forward, 60% forward, but notice the hands, I'm not in this shape. So if you think there's his arm, there's his neck, very rarely do we ever do a strike and leave our hands in the position that the strike ended in, you see? You want to transition into what's happening next. So you get, whack. As soon as I whacked him on the neck, my hands are springing back up, ready for what's going to happen next in the application. I've killed him, he's on the floor, he's out to it. So, look, wow. See that? The rear hand particularly pops back up. This one doesn't really change much. Just you relax the palm, but this hand, which was down here, just sort of springs back up and just into a natural guard position. Just bang, like you can go anywhere from there. You see, you're in that position. So we can go into our next posture down here without having to load anything. From there, we could take it out here if we needed to. We're in a good position to carry on to whatever we need to. So, bang, take it down. Take the first back fist, whack. Take the second back fist, down to there. Try the other way. Here, down. First back fist. Second back fist. So, relax the hand. So you're back to that neutral position. Let's just do that a few times. From one side, first back fist. Second back fist. The other side. First back fist. Second back fist. Okay, let me just call my wife. Oh, darling wife. Yeah, we'll do the bag stuff in just a moment. What I'm going to do is I'll demonstrate the application of that. We'll just drill it a few more times with that image in your mind, and then we'll start hitting the bag. Keep practicing for a moment, or if you don't have your bag already hung up, then hang your bag up now. I'm going to hang my bag up. I'm going to get Fran to help me because it is a arse to get up by myself. Oh, can I just show the application, Fran? No, I lost my mic in the process of lifting bag. All right, so just while I've got Fran here, I'll just demonstrate that second application. So obviously both of these can be done both sides because the whole form is done both sides. So same block, exactly the same principles, shoulder, compressed over, exactly everything I just said about the block before, same thing here. The only difference is this time, maybe come this way. So this time, Fran is going to step in with her other leg. So same punch, but stepping in with her left leg. So naturally, it means that when she does that strike, her body is a bit more on that side of me, you see. You see it from here. Throw a punch with your right leg forward. So she's here. You can't see Fran. Now, take your other foot forward. You can see Fran. So she's over there, you see. Hence, bang, that's where I'm coming through with my follow. That's what I said about it being more in line with the outer leg. So she's over here. Bag's in the way now. She's down there. And this application, it'll work fine from here. Throw that punch. There, like so, look. Whack. That's where it's coming through. Bang. Now, it might not be the most effective thing you could do to have a downward strike if she's still up quite high. Now, the technique can be done with a bit more forward if she's a little bit further up. I'll go into more details of that next week. But the basic way that I've shown you is like so. So someone could throw a punch like this. If I throw the punch to Fran, I could throw the punch, so if I come in this way, bang, look, I'm really upright, yeah? Or maybe because I'm going for a body shot, I've gone, whoa, I've kind of dropped my body a little bit like that, which is, again, a very common thing to do when trying to go low. Instead of just going there, you lose range. So you drop your body weight down, you get more range for that low strike. So Fran does that with her left foot forward and throws that punch, but with your body weight down, that's it. So she's getting that longer range now into that position. Now it feels more comfortable. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Bang. Straight down onto the side of her neck. This arm, as I said before, is controlling her arm here into the bicep. So I'm there. You see, I'm just controlling that in there. I could even turn that into a nice little arm break there, shoulder break there, because I've come in from that block there, controlling that wrist. If I can get it on there, I can even compress it in there, take that there, and get some of this kind of stuff going on. But the basic principle of it is control that arm, smack her down the side of the neck. If she's up tall, you're going to project a little bit further forward. If she's down low, you're going to project it a little bit downward onto the top of her collarbone with that particular movement. Okay, I think that was all I needed to say about that one. Just one other last thing while I've got Fran here. It's other foot forward again. So again, same principle as saying before. This palm here, from this position, based on where she is, yeah, probably hit her with this hand or hit her with this hand. A lot of the people might say like, oh, well, this is a bit better because then I've got this hand to protect against this hand. Fran's not going to have her hand sitting down there by her thigh. So, maybe I need this hand to protect myself. By here, yeah, it's a little bit. But what you've got to remember is, again, back to self-defense, okay? If I do this technique, you see, so I cover this hand, whether I cover it this way or cover it this way, whatever I do with that hand, hit it with this hand, bang. I've just turned my back to you, haven't I? You, the people watching me, I've just turned my back to you, bang. If you're about to attack me, if you're two people and I took that block, whack, you've got my back now. Whereas if from this position, boom, from there, you don't have my back now. So this is where, again, comparatively to boxing, MMA, the competitive styles where it's always one-on-one, you'll see some funny positions that you might think, well, hang on, why would you want to do that? But you've got to remember, it's not always one-on-one. So I might need to hit her with this hand instead of this hand because someone's standing there. Or vice versa. You might have a different technique where you might go, oh, it kind of would work a bit better that way. But if you think about where the other people are, or where the wall, your wife, your kids standing behind you, the bar, the chairs, the street, whatever it is, that's why self-defense based martial arts have a few weird things. I mean, they're not weird to me because that's what I grew up learning, but they're weird to the competitive martial artists because they don't factor in those other things all the time. Thank you, darling. Yeah. So let's just quickly drill that last movement. Then we're going to do some stuff on this bag. So whack, take it down, bang, grabbing the wrist, back fist. Take it across, compress into her bicep, elbow region, and wah, there. Getting that one down across the neck. There. Reset. 1, 2, 3. Grab the wrist. Other side. And there, like so. You see the circle of that movement. It's a beautiful movement because, see, it could have hit her there, or it could have hit her there. The motion, if she's a little more upright, you simply project your power out a little earlier. See, the power is being projected out there in this case. But this one, the power is being projected there, a little bit later on the circle. Boom. You see? The downward one tends to be the slightly easier one to learn, so that's why we start with that one. This, punching forward with like a jabbing action or something is easy to learn, but with this back fist action to get the power to go forward is a lot more difficult. So we tend to, you can feel where that power is going. So that version of the application is a nice one to start off with. All right, we're going to do the first back fist to start off with. The second back fist from here, like so, you can only do the forward version, which I just did then. You can't do the downward version on a flat bag. You would have to, prop the bag up like this or something. Wishful thinking, eh? From here, so that you can go and actually hit down on the thing. Or if you've got one of those bob mannequins or something like that, or you can have someone hold mitts for you. There's lots of different ways you can do it. But for tonight, we'll just do the first back fist since that one you can do nice and easy on any kind of a bag. So just do it exactly like you've done in the form. Take the block, grab the wrist, step forward. There it is there. Okay. Nice and easy. We're not trying to get shitloads of power. Just a nice heavy hand, nice heavy weighted movement. Like so. Bang. Just relax. You don't have to do the whole footwork thing and all of that. We'll just work on the strike. So just leave that foot forward. Take it back to there. Try and get so that the top two knuckles are the ones hitting, or rather that side of the palm. Okay, so it's not going to be the pinpoint of the knuckle hitting, not just yet anyway. There's two different ways of doing this back fist. You can do it as a kind of like a hammer back fist, which is what I'm doing now. See, there's no whip, there's no pullback to the movement. I'm just sort of sailing in from the side, which is the easier one to do. It's still very, very effective. Not quite as it's not so much that it's less quick. It's probably not quite as quick, but it's more so you're left a little bit more open if you miss. If you miss it, well, maybe you're left open a little bit like that, things like that. So the snap version sort of positions you better for what's going to happen next, but it takes a lot more time training to get that to happen. So from here, if I go straight in, you see, the whole hand's going to hit. Boom, like that. Still on that top side of the hand, okay, so the top two knuckles, that side of the palm coming back, that's what you're hitting with, the bigger side of the hand, the bigger bones. If you did snap it, like that, you see, then now I'm only feeling the two knuckles hit, you see, because I'm whipping it back. I'm going here and then what? You see? It whips on the end. So the two knuckles hit instead of that. But we're going to look at that another day. That's difficult. So we're not going to worry about that for now. So take it there. Just a nice heavy hand. Let's just repeat that movement. In fact, swivel it back, just like we do in the form. And there's your back fist. Swivel it back. Step. There's your back fist. Swivel it back. There's your back fist. Swivel it back. Swivel it back. Swivel it back. Just keep it going. Not worrying about lots of power. They're not even hitting fast. I'm hitting with looseness, with heaviness in the arms. In fact, as an exercise, you don't do this in the form, but as an exercise, let's do the same thing that we do with that move, dropping the hands down, okay? So you're going to hit your target, just let your arms drop, completely relax, and then just slowly swivel yourself back. Obviously, the one hand has to lift up. So this is not a fighting technique, obviously. You would never drop your hands, and you would probably never do this block from that position, having to lift your hand. But it's just a nice, loosening, body-generating movement. Okay? Relax. Relax. See, by doing the bag, hitting the bag like this, you'll instinctively not do this. If you try to hit the bag now, you're not going to get any power at all because you've already turned your center. So this is what I was saying in the solo form about holding your center back and then releasing the power. So by having some kind of feedback to tell me where the power is, it tells me, oh yeah, I want to hold back on that. When I step, charge it up almost and strike. Obviously, don't really load it back like that, but you kind of do because you're already doing that. You see. See, when you're first doing it, it's a little bit broken down. So you take that block. Right, then we step and then we strike, you see. But in reality, as soon as you've taken that block, you see there's the step. So that little kind of, that little bit of follow through is happening as you're stepping, you see. Wow, to there. And later on, the step starts becoming a lot quicker. You don't shift your weight so much. So everything starts becoming a little bit smaller. Okay, a little lesson on bag work. When you're doing bag work, any kind of bag work, or particularly fisting bag work, not so much palming bag work. If you are of a certain age, you might find that hitting it with your fists, whether it's a back fist or a front fist, doesn't matter, you might find it's a bit much, okay? Now, ultimately, we should toughen our hands up, right? We should have strong hands. The bag is soft. Well, it's not like we're punching bricks. Punching bricks, doing this ridiculous iron palm training, that's just bad for your health. Yeah, it makes your fists super strong, but it also ruins your hands. So my father was always of the philosophy that martial arts shouldn't be your entire life, being the ultimate warrior fighter and then only living till you're 30 and then being a cripple after that, such as what a lot of martial arts do to you. So Taiji is all about allowing you to be able to continue protecting yourself and your family right into your older age. So, that's why we start off gently. A bag is soft anyway, even if it's heavy, like this is a heavy 45 kilo bag, so it's a fairly solid one. So when you hit it, you feel it. But if you just hit it like that, you're learning. You're not going to get that much force when you're learning. It's still cushioned. It's still padded. It's still a soft thing. It's not a wall or something. It's not as hard as someone's head, So you should be okay. But if not, then I don't have any in the room with me now, but you can put on gloves. Now, when I say gloves, I do not mean boxing gloves. There is never a situation if you are training Taiji where you should be wearing boxing gloves whilst hitting a bag or mitts. They will ruin your technique because they change the way you hold your fist. So it's very, very important. You only ever practice with that, then you go to practice bare knuckle, and you're going to roll your fist, you're not going to make the right contact. Okay, so very, very important. We only use boxing gloves. The only purpose of a boxing glove is to protect the other person's head. If you're swinging punches, training them how to defend these punches, I need to put something on my hands to stop them from getting hurt. And also to protect, now in this case, protecting my hands, not when I'm hitting a bag, because the bag's already soft, but protecting my hands when I am playing the role of the aggressor in a training session, okay? If I'm fighting me, sorry, not me fighting me, if I'm being me, if I'm fighting you, and I'm me, and I is you, and you am I, I'm not going to throw punches that are going to break my hands. I just wouldn't throw those punches. But that means you're only learning how to fight me. Some big street thug, maybe he's got much bigger hands than me, and he can push through certain things, you see? So he might just come, whoa, 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 just big swinging haymakers and not care about damaging his hands, in which case that can catch you out. So I need to be able to kind of replicate that. But it means that if I hit, for example, your elbow with my hand, I don't want to break my hand. So that's when I put the boxing gloves on. So I can mimic that sheer force of a massive, big, aggressive guy to give you that training. In sparring, proper sparring, as in give and take sparring, not when one person's just being the attacker and one person's being the defender, but normal free sparring, then we would wear the small gloves, which protect the other person's face, so you can still punch them in the face gently, but allow you to open your hand. So yes, we use gloves, but never on this or on your focus pads. However, you can get, if anyone needs to know, just let me know and I'll send you a picture of it or something, little gel covers, little gel wrap things that go over your knuckles. Just provides a little bit of padding, a little bit of cushion over your knuckles, stops your skin from splitting, things like that. But doesn't change how you use your hands. So that's really important. Okay, let's go back to our combo number 1 from the grading syllabus, which is going to be palm, palm, punch, palm. Okay? So let's take it. Left foot forward. Straight out palm strike, just from there, boom. And straight in with the other one. Don't worry about power or speed. Worry about technique. Good technique, ground yourself. Get that other hand up. Bang. Keep it up. Okay. Both your hands. You should be able to see them. They should be right here in front of your vision. If you feel like, well, I couldn't see my hand, it's dropped down. You're vulnerable in that moment. Hop, hop. Okay. Little shuffle in, so you just go to like what little movement in there. Just as you take that first palm, and then obviously drive it over with a twist of the waist, back the other way, pivoting the hip, as we talked about 2 weeks ago. Turn that hip over. So. The second one's always going to be a little more powerful. You got your whole boom, you've got more twists behind it. But your first one should still be decent. It shouldn't just be a little tap and then something heavy. There should be 2 solid strikes. Okay, something I want you to look at tonight. This is really important to get into your head right from the start of your training. And it's making sure you're not doing something like this, loading in some way, or even this. See, wasn't as obvious, wasn't as sort of pull it back with the shoulder, but it was still some kind of a charge, some kind of a charging up before you hit. So you want to say your bag, hands in front of it, touch your bag, right? With no power. Because it's power. The only reason we telegraph is because we want power. And if we don't know how to punch properly, you'll see the person go, okay, yeah, I can punch that. Yeah, no problem. You see? And the shoulder rolls back because they're thinking power. As soon as you tell someone, try to hit this mitt, but I'm going to try to move it. Every time you hit it, I'm going to try to move it. All of a sudden, they start throwing a more decent punch rather than rolling it. But when they think power, they roll the shoulder. So you think power, you miss your punch because he sees it coming, you see? So only roll your punch, if ever, if you've already hit him 3 or 4 times. And then, yeah, okay, go for it. Throw your heavy punch and knock him out. But when we're in this sort of situation, we need to make sure this shoulder, see, there's nothing. And where you are, shift your weight, turn your center, extend your arm in one motion. Now, I'm still getting some power there, but I've trained it a lot. So don't worry about power. Just go there. Just twist and feel. So see the timing that you can get by only hitting it with your arm. Just go boom. Yeah, okay. Try to make it so, imagine that this is the best way to train this, of course, is with someone moving the mitt. That's why when we do mitt work, we have this whole sequence of different actions where the other person's trying to move the mitt out of your way. But you can still practice it here. Just think, I need to get my hand there as quickly as possible. And I need to not let him see me do it. So in reality, you're probably going to be moving a little bit, you see? You're probably not going to be like, and then hit someone. You're going to be moving a little bit. Moving is good because it hides what you're going to do. If you're already moving and then you punch someone, it's less likely he sees it coming than if you're completely still. Then any movement you do, he might see that punch coming, you see? However, the staying completely still then punching, we can see it. We can feel it. So if you move and then you kind of, I don't know, hit it like that, maybe you don't notice. Remember I said in the beginning of these classes, I'm giving you tips on how to self-teach because you're working on your own most of the time. You don't have a teacher with you there all the time. So if you're moving around, you go, okay, yeah, I'm going to hit this bag. Maybe you didn't notice that the shoulder actually loaded because you were moving around anyway. So a good little tip, you say, okay, total stillness. And then hit the bag. If you feel yourself go, something happened. Even just that, a little weight shift forward, little arching of the back, little tilt forward, little pull of the shoulder, raise of the hand, whatever it is. Put yourself in a position where you can just hit. And as I say, if you take away the concept, the entire concept of hitting hard, it shouldn't be that difficult. Just stay there and say, right, I'm going to not let him see me do it. Better to hit someone with a little bit of power than to not hit someone with a lot of power. Switch sides. Remember to have your weight only about 60%, 55 to 60% back. If you're way back here, it's difficult to get your weight shifting. If you're already a little bit forward, right, 60-40, then it's easier to, because you're more neutral. When you're more neutral, you can go in any direction. If you're way back on your back foot, very easy to go back, but less easy to go forward, okay? So just standing there again, hit it. It doesn't even have to be fast. The point of the lesson is not to be fast, it's to be direct. So take a look at this. Not fast, but it's direct. You are more likely to hit your partner's mitt, someone trying to move the mitt when you hit. You're more likely to hit it, the strike like that, than you are with a strike like this. That might have looked really fast, but there was all this movement that happened before my hand actually went forward. That's the thing your partner will see, and that's when they move the mitt. So if you can just go just like that, even slower. See? Just a little turn of the waist, a little shift of the weight, and straight in. That's what we're looking for. That principle is what we have to base all of our striking upon. So take that, whatever we've done so far, whatever drills you already know on working on the bag, and for this week, practice your back fist as well, that we did with the small sense out. But really have a think about where we are there. It's obviously only relates, well, it doesn't only relate to your second punch. We want to go, see that second punch, the same thing sort of applies in that from here, we wouldn't want to go bang, whoa, that kind of thing, you see. However, you do get to load the second punch because it loads as a byproduct of throwing the first punch. So naturally, this shoulder pulls back when that shoulder pushes forward. So that's why you get a lot more power, because you do get that wind up before you push it through. However, we still must make sure that even with the second punch or third or fourth punch, it must still be from that point up, just on the coil back of that. When I push it forward, it's still legs, center, and hand, all together. And not legs, center, hand. You see? That's like throwing a ball. That's how we throw a ball. We go like this. Don't we? Or playing tennis. Or anything, really. Cricket, baseball, whatever. Because it's all purely about power. You can see the ball coming, you can set yourself up, all right, here we go, cross flat. You know, the ball can't move out of the way. Plus the other guy's very good at spin shots, but then you know what spin shots are anyway. So now there is a time to utilize what's called the ripple effect, where you do push from the legs first, then the waist, then the hand. There is a time to do that. I'll explain more about that way later into the other classes. But to begin with, the most important thing is not letting him see your strike. Like so. So as soon as you've done that, from that position, again, all direct. Just turn your center into that second strike. And again, if you've done, I think we did the whole thing in that first class, you do that next one. From there, none of that, just straight in. And straight in. So just turning your center each time. All right, that's all we've got time for this class. If anyone's got any questions, now's the time. And then we're going to do some standing Qigong.
Yeah, I got a question.
Go for it.
I just managed to rip it out.
You managed to what?
To rip it out of the wall.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
How do you fix it? I'm yours. Did you? Yeah, just have a look. Wait, how do you fix it? Okay, well.
Oh, how do I put it up? Right. It's just 4 bolts. Let's see if this will. I think this should keep.
I thought it was strong, but unfortunately not.
Gonna keep working. Yes. So I'm trying to look back at my screen. So it's in
Oh
front of
yeah.
me.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just one bolt either side,
Yeah.
going straight into the stud, of course,
Yeah.
to the cross beam, and
All right.
that yeah, I think that bolt there is rated at I don't know
Yeah.
100 kilos or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Mine's supposed to take 400, but I don't think so.
well, maybe the bolt can take 400, but the wall that it was put into can't take 400.
Yeah.
So
I guess it was a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you just got to
Anyway.
make sure. The main thing is just to make sure it's in the in the stud. Maybe it wasn't quite in the stud or something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, um, is the ripple effect what you were talking about the Fajin?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically we only use that when we're at very close range because when you're at very close range, it doesn't matter if you ripple because you're that close anyway, so we can't see it coming because you're so close to the person. Yeah. You're looking very sinister, Mike. That dark, you look like some kind of horror film, like you're about to stab someone or something.
Yeah, Halloween has come early, or is it late?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I, when was it? January 14th. January 14th. And that's just the first time I saw them. So they were probably out on January 10th. Easter eggs.
Yeah, yeah,
It's becoming ridiculous now.
yeah. It's not. Yeah, I did the
It's
same thing. It was my eldest son's birthday on the 8th of January.
yeah,
And I went into the supermarket to get some like bags of chocolates to for him to bring to his classmates at school.
yeah,
And yeah, there was the bags that I got were like
yeah,
Easter egg bunnies in them.
yeah.
I was like, what? 8th of January? This
It's
is
just not
ridiculous.
special anymore. Hot
No.
cross buns you can get all year round now. It's like, no,
Yeah,
those are Easter buns. Why are they
yeah,
there all the time? They're not
yeah,
special anymore. I
yeah.
used to look forward to getting a hot cross bun at Easter time. It's something special. But now it's just like, well, why would I get a hot cross bun at Easter time if I can get them any time of year? Like,
We need to start a vigilante group. Go around and like remove all the hot cross buns from the
yeah,
supermarkets.
yeah, yeah.
One question I was going to ask
Yep.
was, do you frequently train either the small sansai or the large sansai in kind of like super slow Taiji kind of style, or do you not do it that much?
I do so I do it as slow as can be done whilst still getting the momentum because obviously the swiveling motions you go
Yeah,
a certain amount of slow and you're just not going to make it. So you've got to
yeah,
at least have enough speed to get the momentum to go through.
yeah,
But yeah, I quite like to whoa, just
yeah, yeah,
especially so the swivel, a little bit more speed, and then the attack.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm. I can go through that a little so, and then a little whoosh, little on the swivel part. So yeah, any components, and same with the large Sansao, any
yeah.
bits which require momentum, a little bit more fast, and then slow it down the rest of it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the sort of the river sometimes going fast, sometimes going
Yeah,
slow, kind of kind
yeah,
of
it's
kind of
nice.
analogy.
I like to change it up in
Yeah,
the same way that you can do the slow form fast, you can do any fast form slow. So
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
good.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Stand still for a bit, shall we? Qigong challenge. Starting week 3 of the Qigong challenge.
Hmm.
I just need a quick drink of water. All right. Oh, get the spotlight away. Let's settle it down for the evening. Try and get it low. As I say, I'm not teaching in these sections of the class. This is just us doing Qigong. Whoever knows how to do it can follow along. But just one tip that I've been chucking out there lately is you need to go, most people anyway, need to go lower. Your tension rising up your back, bum sticking out because you're not low enough. You need to put more pressure on your legs so that the back can completely relax. Line up to the stance. And we get more heat build up, more chi flow by having the lower stance. There is a limit to how low you can go, which you should know about. Yeah, try and feel the burn. Let's drop the hands down. Just lift the hands up. Keeping the body down, legs bent. And close off. Thank you all for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Got Bagua at 6 o'clock and then Qigong Challenge at 7 o'clock. Have a good day. See you in the morning.
Thanks.
See ya.